you want to effortlessly attract men? And I mean having them chase you, deleting all the other women from their phone just to focus on you and only you. Because today I'm going to show you how to truly become magnetic, but not in the way that most internet influencers teach you. Most advice gets magnetism completely wrong. So let's talk a little bit about the energy you're projecting. Because when most people, they want, and let me clear my board here, because most people, when they focus on magnetism, they think about, oh, what can I do? Is it my conversational skills? Is it my appearance? Is it my humor? But magnetism isn't about necessarily what you do. It's about the energy that you are projecting, right? Your energy, what you come away with. And this is subconsciously projected before you even speak. Have you ever had somebody come into a room and they're just like really pissed off and you're like, hey, get me away from them? You might not have even seen this person, but you can feel their energy. Or somebody that's super sad, maybe you go into a spooky place and you're like, I don't like the energy in here, because energy is so real. And think about it. The people who you've met who said all the right things, still something about these people can feel off, because I've met people who have barely said anything, but yet I was drawn to them, and that is their pure energy. So picture this. You're at a party, 2 women, you notice them immediately. The first one walks up to a group and goes, oh guys, I'm so exhausted. I just got back from Tulum yesterday. How have you been? It's incredible. And they're constantly looking over your shoulder. I stayed at the most amazing resort. It was $800 a night, but totally worth it. Actually, my Harvard roommate recommended it to me. Did you mention I went to Harvard? Anyway, I didn't get here tonight because my BMW is in the shop, so I had to take an Uber. Everyone's nodding politely, but everyone's eyes start to wander. They're like, oh my God, get me away from this insufferable woman. But then there's another woman across the room. She's genuinely laughing at people's stories. And when somebody spills a drink, she grabs napkins without making a big deal about it. She asks the host about the recent promotion. She's actively listening to people's answers and taking a genuine interest in their life. She's not performing for anyone. She's just present. This is the kind of person that goes on a dance floor. They're kind of just dancing to their own beat. They're authentically them. And Robert Greene, if you guys are familiar with that author, wrote 48 Laws of Power, great book. He tells a story about 2 men who are competing for the queen's favor. Essentially, they want to date the queen. And the first guy, he would dazzle her with his intellect, his wit, his vast knowledge of every subject. And the second man, what he did instead was he listened to her opinions, asked thoughtful questions, and made her feel like she was the most fascinating person in the room. And later the queen said, when I left the first man's presence, I thought he was the smartest man in the kingdom. But when I left the other man's presence, I thought I was the smartest woman in the kingdom. And chat down below who you think she picked, because you're not going to guess wrong. Obviously, the second man won. But you might think, but I'm a woman. I'm not competing for some queen's favor. I want men's attention. And you're thinking, But at the end of the day, we're all unconsciously competing for attention, validation in our daily interactions. But just like the queen could sense the difference between the guy that just wanted to brag about himself, the person that made her feel like she was interesting, that's the person that's truly magnetic. And people can sense the difference in energy before you even speak. And the problem is most of us are projecting what I call deficit energy. Deficit energy. And this could be very similar to deficit. Sometimes I have to remember how to spell things. Deficit energy. And this is very similar to scarcity. Scarcity mindset. We don't like that. So here's what's really happening when people are projecting deficit energy is it repels people. And I'll give you an example to show you where you've probably seen this in life. And you need to understand how people's brains, they're essentially wired to detect neediness. They're wired to detect when they feel like somebody wants something from them. So within seconds of meeting people, your brain is unconsciously asking, is this person trying to get something from me? Or do they genuinely have something to offer? Are they genuinely interested in my life? And here's the thing, this detection happens below our conscious awareness. It may surface, but we are so primed to understand body language, energy. And if your energy is communicating, I need validation, I need attention, I need approval, people feel it immediately. And think about the person that is trying to sell you something in a store. Let's say you go in a store and they're immediately, oh, can I help you find anything? Oh, that would look great on you. Oh, we have a sale today. Your guard goes up because you feel like you're being sold to. It feels kind of icky. Even if they say nice things, something in your gut says, oh, this person, they really want something from me, right? So compare that to when you walk in the store, a person behind the desk gives you a genuine smile, says, let me know if you need anything. Hey, you have any events coming up? And they're asking you genuine questions about your life versus trying to force a sale on you. And you actually feel way more comfortable approaching them for help because you don't feel like they're stalking you around the store because they're not projecting this kind of desperate deficit energy. And remember that first woman at the party, her brain was screaming like, validate me. Every Harvard mentioned her designer knit brand, her BMW. Not to say that's wrong to have nice things, but that neediness, that, oh, I need somebody to validate me, that our brain picks up on and we say, I don't really like that. The same thing happens in dating. When people are posting on Instagram, they constantly need to like show off their life. And trust me, I'm a huge Instagram guy. I love posting on social media. But there is sometimes a neediness where you need to show off your life versus you're just genuinely, maybe you take a picture of a bird and you're like, I like birds. That is so much more magnetic and endearing because people don't feel like you're putting on a fake life. They feel like you are just sharing what is interesting to you. So you might be thinking, okay, I get it, deficit energy, all good, but how do I do it, right? How do I actually come to this? But to understand how to shift from deficit to abundance, and let me draw that out, deficit to abundance, and we love abundance mindset. It's one of our favorite mindsets. We need to understand what creates this genuine confidence and not what some self-help guru, not like Tony Robbins screaming on the stage. Trust me, I love Tony Robbins, but we need to have this real confidence. And this comes from what I call the be, do, have paradigm. I spelled paradigm wrong, but that's fine. You know, we're being authentic here. And most people think, okay, when I have certain things, when I have the BMW, when I have the perfect relationship, the perfect responses, the perfect techniques, the validation from others, then I'll do magnetic behaviors and then I'll be magnetic myself. But people, they focus on all these techniques when it's actually backwards because you can decide today to be magnetic. You adopt that identity first. You say, I'm a super magnetic person. And then you naturally do what magnetic people. So let's imagine this. So I'm going to say, I'm going to be magnetic, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, well, what does a magnetic person do? Okay, well, they listen to people. They are genuinely curious about them. They're present without seeking all this validation. They're comfortable in their own skin. And when you adopt the mindset that I am already a magnetic person, you start embodying the characteristics. Think about it like this. Did you wake up and smoke today? If you did, you consider yourself to be a smoker. I don't ever think about waking up and smoking a cigarette. And hopefully that doesn't ban me from YouTube when I say things like this. Your identity forms. If you go to the gym, you are a person that goes to the gym. You're a gym goer. That is in your identity. You cannot do actions that are incongruent without your identity. So funny enough, I was learning hypnotism the other day, and one of the first parts in the book to hypnotize yourself is to say, I am a hypnotist. So you are magnetic. Think about yourself as a magnetic person and start embodying and doing what a magnetic person would do. So I have a friend who really embodies this perfectly. You know, she never changes her personality based on who she's with. She has strong opinions, but she knows she's not going to agree with everybody. And that's another thing. When you have strong opinions, it actually makes you a bit more magnetic because you're pushing away a bunch of people that don't like you. People love a leader. There's a famous quote that I love. It says, the people are silently waiting to be led. When you are magnetic, you are a bit polarizing. You know, when she's single, she's genuinely happy. When she's dating, she's an addition. She's got anyone coming into her life because she has such a fulfilling life that people are drawn into it. And I remember watching her at a dinner party where this guy kept blabbering on, trying to steer the conversation back to his accomplishments. And instead of competing or trying to one-up her, be like, I've also been to Tulum, she stayed genuinely curious about the other people at the table. She asked thoughtful questions. She laughed at stories that were genuinely funny, and she expressed her opinions without fear of being like, oh, I hope they like me. No, because she's authentically herself. And by the end of the night, everyone was gravitating to her. So they're like, who is this woman? Because she wasn't performing. She was making everyone else feel interesting and heard just through her actions. Because magnetic people, they aren't trying to like siphon off energy from other people. They are literally generating it themselves. And when you today decide that you are magnetic, you will absolutely generate this type of love because you're so full of self-love. It's literally like pouring out of you. And people are like, I need to be around that woman. So here's what you actually need to do. Start your relationship with yourself. Think about yourself. Can you be alone with your thoughts? Do you constantly need a distraction? Or can we start generating self-love for you today? Can we start doing our affirmations? Can we start visualizing our future? Can we start being the magnetic woman? And that's your foundation. And that's when you focus on developing your genuine interests, your genuine life, the goals that fulfill you independently of somebody else in your life.